Hi, I'm Bethany Sawhill from Phoenix Family Birth, and I wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about pain in labor. Inevitably, if you ask a group of moms, how bad was the pain? What am I really getting into? They are going to say on a scale of 1 to 10, it was a 10, a 12, a 20. You might have a few lower numbers in there. And yes, pain is associated with childbirth. I'm not the doula who's going to stand in front of you and say if you do X, Y, and Z, you can have a totally pain-free labor. Is it possible? Yes, believe it or not, there are people who do have labor experiences that aren't associated with pain. But for the vast majority of us, there is going to be pain in our labor process. And so rather than trying to spread this message that you can do something right to avoid that pain, because some people do all of the right things and they still have pain, and so the message becomes, I failed. And there is no failing in childbirth. So let's avoid that mindset and set ourselves up instead to understand the how and the why behind the pain. Up until now, you've probably only associated pain with negative experiences in your life. So instead, let's talk about the differences between those experiences and the pain in labor. I break this down by talking about the acronym P.A.I.N. Pretty apt, right? So the P stands for purpose. The pain associated with labor is the result of necessary changes in your body to be able to meet your baby. And there's nothing like that first moment when you gaze into your baby's eyes and know that all of that pain really did serve a purpose. A is for anticipated. Unless you're in active labor right now, and you probably shouldn't be watching this video if you are, you have lots of time to prepare. My first recommendation would be to find a birth class near you that's going to explain all about the stages and phases of labor. It's going to talk to you about the normal things to expect and what things may come up that might not be so normal and what you can do about them. My pro tip is to find a class that doesn't vilify any of the myriad options available to you as a birthing person. There's no superior, better, right, or wrong in childbirth. Any class that's worth its weight in gold is going to talk to you about coping techniques and comfort measures, as well as different pain management strategies. Parents often say, well, I don't need a birth class because I already know I'm getting the epidural as soon as I possibly can. And I say, fabulous. I love that you know that that's the right choice for you. And pain management, or the epidural, or what you're going to do about that pain is only one of the options if we really break down birth. There's probably a dozen or more other things that you're going to have to make a choice about, and so a birth class can help you to understand that whole big picture. Another thing to possibly consider is that from the time you say, I'm ready for my epidural, to the time that it's administered and really starts to work can be as little as 10 minutes, and in some cases can be over an hour, depending on what's going on in the hospital around you. So having a toolbox from which you can draw in that meantime period is a great idea. And another thing to consider, while it doesn't happen often, it is rare. Sometimes epidurals don't work the way that we anticipate, and so having a backup plan is always a great idea too. I stands for intermittent. Unlike a headache or some other sort of pain that you've experienced to now, contractions aren't constant. They come and go. In early labor, they start out only being about 30 or 45 seconds long. In active labor, about a minute. And in transition, before you begin pushing, they can be about 90 seconds long. In early labor, in between the contractions, you have anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. In active labor, 3 to 5 minutes between contractions. And in transition, you have about 1 to 2 minutes between. So we're not talking about a lot of downtime, but we are talking about enough time that you can rest, relax, recover, and be ready for the next set of contractions. When we can learn what to expect and we can work with our bodies instead of fighting against them, we're going to reduce the fear, we're going to reduce the tension, and in turn that's going to reduce the pain. A birth doula is an expert in not only coping and comfort measures and reducing pain, but in all of those options that are going to come up. So if you haven't yet, consider hiring a birth doula to help guide you through your experience. The N stands for normal. When you stub your toe on a bed frame or you burn your hand on the stove, the resulting pain is an emergency physiological response to something abnormal happening. On the flip side, the pain of labor is caused by something completely normal. Your uterus is made up of a system of muscles, and it is their actual job to contract and cause the sensations that you're feeling in labor. So just like if you go run a marathon or you're in the gym lifting weights, there's pain associated with those events too. But because we know that it's normal and our bodies are doing what they're designed to do, we can push through and we can overcome. And so reframing birth in the same way can be really helpful. Again, understanding that why is going to take the fear out of the experience no matter what your pain management strategy is. Something else that often goes missing in this discussion is that people think epidural or unmedicated are kind of the only options, but really there's a whole spectrum of really fantastic choices in between, and only you're going to know what's right for you out of all of those choices. You can choose to feel it all, you can choose to feel nothing or anywhere in between, but only you know what the right choice is for you. And anyone who tries to tell you otherwise, they can go stub their toe on a bed frame. For more information about pregnancy, birth, and your first year home with baby, visit us online at phoenixfamilybirth.com, where you don't have to worry about a thing.